Hello, happy stormy Monday night here in New Jersey. Welcome to my live stream. My name is Jackie Baker. This is your live weekly dose of real estate reality. Thanks so much for joining me. Let me kill the music. All right. So if you saw the oh, there goes my phone. So if you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, you see that we're talking about how the housing market is stuck. It's stuck. It's not going anywhere. And yeah, it's pretty flipping frustrating right now. We really didn't have much of a spring market at all. And which was just so weird for me. It's weird for a lot of us real estate agents. We're just sitting around thinking like, what the heck happened? But anyway, my guest tonight, you've seen him on here before, and I'm very excited to have him back. Mr. Jim Flanagan. Let me bring you on here, Jim. How are you, Jim? Thanks for being here with me.
Thanks for having me again, Jackie. And like we said, it's been too long, almost 3 months.
It's been 3 months. Oh my God. I missed you.
Likewise.
Missed you. So Tom's River, you're still, I'm sure you're still seeing the bidding wars. Like we were just saying, we're still having bidding wars up here in North Jersey. But it's eerily quiet. At least here it is on my end. And you were just saying before, your spring was better than you had expected, right?
It was better than I expected. Yeah, coming out of November, December, and January, right? It was,
Okay.
it wasn't like the normal spring market, but when all the prognosticators and economists who predicted a crash, right? Pleasantly surprised. Surprise, surprise, no crash.
No crash.
You need inventory for a crash.
I know. I know.
No inventory, no crash.
Yep. Yeah. It's, oh my God. So the spring market, like for me, it's definitely not, it was non-existent. And for a lot of people up here, and every agent I speak to, we're all just like kind of throwing our hands up like, all right, what next? What's going to happen?
I think even buyers were surprised, right?
Yeah.
So, especially first time home buyers, right?
Yeah.
The ones that are okay. We have a 7% mortgage rate that we're dealing with. We should have some choice out there and maybe some negotiation room. And
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just crazy, just absolutely crazy. So let's talk about the article. Let me share. John, can you bring the article up from Redfin, please? My little trusty producer. He's back this week. So Redfin went on to say that there was no spring market either. Here we go. Okay, housing market update: the spring home buying season that never happened. So it goes on to say near 7% mortgage rates are preventing both would-be home buyers and would-be sellers from entering the market. But even though the spring buying season ended with a whimper, home builders are ending spring with a bang. Construction of new single-family homes is near its highest level in almost 2 decades, providing some hope for an uptick in inventory by next year. This I am hearing in other parts of the country, that the homes, they are building homes in other parts of the country. Here, Jersey, not so much. I mean, there really isn't, there's not much land to.
We're built out. I mean, this is great. This is great news for the South and the Southwest.
Absolutely.
But, here in the East and Northeast, we're built out. How does that help us, right?
Exactly. So John, can you scroll down a little bit? Because there's a couple of things I want to keep going. All right, slow down. John, slow down.
Easy there, John. Put the
Thank you, Johnny. All right, so this is what I found interesting. So leading indicators of home buying activity. The daily average 30-year fixed rate mortgage was 6.9% on June 21st. And that's down from a half-year high of 7.14 a month earlier. So for the week ending June 15th, the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage rate was 6.69, down slightly from 6.71% the week before, but still close to the highest rate since November. This is interesting. Mortgage purchase applications during the week ending June 16th rose 2% from a week earlier, seasonally adjusted, marking the second straight week of increases. Purchase applications were down 32% from a year earlier. So So people are still applying for mortgages. I mean, I'm taking it as people are just gearing up.
Well,
That's what I'm thinking.
is it gearing up or is it acceptance? Right. So, you and I were talking
Or
before,
both.
you and I were talking before we went live,
Yeah.
that, a month ago, Memorial Day weekend, we were over 7%.
Yeah.
Right. So, here we are just under 7%. But, June has been the least volatile month as far as mortgage rates go.
True.
They've literally hovered just about, 6.8, 6.9 for the whole month.
Yep.
So I
Yeah.
think buyers are finally just saying, okay, it looks like we're stuck with these rates and we don't want to rent. We want to buy.
Yeah.
So we just have to get out there and see what we can afford and what we can find.
Yep. Just got to throw your hat in the ring, right? And you got to try, and then hope to refinance down the road. So let's go on to these other points here. Okay, the seasonally adjusted Redfin Home Buyer Demand Index, a measure of requests for home tours and other home buying services from Redfin agents. Now, this is all based on Redfin's stuff. That was down slightly from a week earlier. During the week ending June 18th, it was up 11% from a year earlier, the fourth consecutive annual increase. Demand was dropping at this time in 2022 as mortgage rates rose. Right. Touring activity as of June 18th was up 14% from the start of the year, compared with a 4% decrease at the same time last year, according to the home technology company Showing Time. So, yeah, Jim, I think you're right. It could be that people are accepting of this now, and it is what it is. There's, they can't wait for the rates to come down, but the problem is it's the prices, and I think that's the important thing we have to keep hammering home to people, that the prices are going to continue to rise. I'm sorry, as long as there's no inventory, they're gonna continue to go up. So if you can try to get in and win the house, get it now, and then instead of waiting a few months from now, because then if the rates come back down, we all know what happens. It's
Yep.
going to bring more buyers back in, and those prices are going to go even higher if there's no more additional inventory. So it could be that people are just, you could be accepting of it.
Well, the double-edged sword in this whole thing is, not just buyers, but sellers, right? Listings,
Yeah.
right? We have, all of our sellers are rate locked into their current home.
Yep.
Why would I give up my 3-4% mortgage for a 6-7% mortgage?
Absolutely.
Makes
Absolutely.
no sense. Why? How can you make a lateral move? You can't.
No.
Right?
Nope.
So I'm sure you've seen the Barbara Corcoran, TikTok or reel, right?
Yes.
Where she's telling you, the most common question she's asked is, is it a good time to buy, or when's a good time to buy? And she's warning, all buyers, right, that now is a good time to buy, because when rates do drop, all that demand's going to unleash and drive prices up even further.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Did you also see her other thing about how to win in a bidding war? How she talked about writing a letter to the sellers?
I
Well,
didn't see that.
oh
No,
yeah.
no.
I cringed when I saw that. I'm like,
Really?
hello, Federal Fair Housing Act, like, violation. We can't do that anymore. Did anybody tell her?
But no, see, that's still up for debate.
Oh,
You and I both were, under that impression initially, but there's been no policy issued on it from a state level or a national level, right?
I thought there was at a national level. I thought there was. I
No,
thought
I
you
think a
couldn't
couple
do
of
it.
states did, and then they said so. It's it's a big gray area, so
Yeah, I was under the impression that we couldn't do it. But I know what a lot of agents were still doing. They were still approaching the listing agents and say, would your client accept the letter? And I stopped doing it. I didn't even offer doing it. But I had it asked to me on my listings, and I would flat out say no, because they were leading to lawsuits. Because people were complaining, people were like, "Oh, well, you chose them because they have a family or they practice a certain religion," and that is this whole discrimination thing came up. So I stay away from that.
Well, and I think that's what we're seeing more listing agents put that no love letters.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
love letters not accepted. But I
Yep.
don't think there's any clear direction that NAR ever took on it. I think they left it up to the individual states.
Well, I think, yeah, we just stopped doing it. I believe my manager advised us not to do it because look, when you were getting like 20, 25 offers on a home, which I have had that, I understand you want to stand out, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the price and terms. I mean, price being the more important
That,
factor.
that's it.
That's what it is. And now whenever I send an offer, I just write on the email, here are the offer details.
Yeah,
Just
break it down. Just
great
make it
price,
concise. Yep.
terms, inspection. Yep, that's all you want because that's how you're going to stand out. Get it in front of them right in the initial email. Like here's what we're offering, and then the contract's attached.
Yeah,
Um,
and make sure everything's there, complete package. Don't
yep,
yeah, yep.
absolutely, absolutely. So, John, can you scroll down a little bit more? I just want to see, am I missing anything here? Oh, yeah, stop here, John. Okay. This is what I wanted to hit on this too. Data based on homes listed and or sold during the period. The median home sale price, $382,861. This is national, right? It's down 1%.
Yeah,
The smallest decline in more than 3 months. Price declines have been shrinking for the last 2 months.
yeah.
Oh my God. Now, prices declined in Austin. Austin's still going down. That's unbelievable. So you have Austin, Las Vegas, Detroit, LA, and Phoenix. Those areas are still declining. But look at where they're increasing. Obviously, Florida,
Mhm.
you have Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Providence, Rhode Island. I was shocked when I saw that today. Milwaukee and Virginia Beach. So price increases. It's like I think people are just finding anywhere to go and they're anywhere there's an affordable house. I don't
Well,
know.
like you said, it's all about affordability.
Yeah,
Where can we afford to move now that we're not bound by geography anymore, right?
exactly. Yeah.
So it's
It, yeah, I just found that really I just Virginia Beach, wow. Like I didn't and Milwaukee. Like who really?
well,
So but, and then so it goes on to say the median asking price for newly listed homes is 397,225. That's up 0.3% from a year earlier. Not much of an increase there. Pending home sales were down 15.7% year over year. This is a continuing 13-month streak of double-digit declines. So this is the continuing problem. It's just there's nothing for sale. So
right.
that's
So we have a catch 22. We have a lack of demand and a lack of supply.
yep,
Right.
yep,
In an ordinary housing correction, it's one or the other, right?
yep.
So, I think, I mean, were you around again in 2008, Jackie?
I was not an agent yet at that
Yeah.
time. So I can yeah, I can only imagine.
So, yeah, I was around. I remember it clear as day. So it's but to put things in perspective, right now I think we're sitting on a national level just over 1 million listings. I think. Am I right? Am I in the ballpark?
1,000,000, yeah,
Active
1,000,000
listings
homes,
for sale,
active
right?
listings. Yeah, I think you're right. Yep.
Right. And to put things in perspective, back in 2008 or 2007, before the crash, right before we fell off the cliff, it was over 4 million.
Yeah.
4 million. So we
Yep.
have, a fourth, a quarter of the listings that we did, back in 2008. So obviously there is no crash, but at the same time, we're 20% down, 15 in pendings, 20% down in closings or sales
Yep.
year over year, and that's only because it's unaffordable.
Right.
The rates, the rates have caused that. So we
Yep.
have this catch 22. We have fewer buyers and fewer sellers.
Yep. Yep. Well, look, I don't know. I don't know where this is all going to end up, but let me just share with you the New Jersey stats. I just pulled this up right before we came on. And I thought you guys would find this interesting if I can find it. There it is. Okay. All right. So Look at this. This is for May. This is for the entire state of New Jersey. New listings, it's down 28.6%. 7,371 new listings hit the market in May. Pending sales are down 17%. Closed sales, look at this, Jim. Closed sales, 23.4% decline year
Yeah.
over year. That is insane. However, our prices are still going up. And look at the percent of list price received, 102.8%. These homes are still going for asking. I was so upset to see that because, you know, not too long ago, they were just hovering around 100% or even 99%. And now it's back up again. It's 102.8.
Yeah. Yeah. I think back at the beginning of the year in January, we actually hit 98% here in Ocean County.
Yeah.
And now we're back up over 100% again.
It's
Yep.
unbelievable. Like you said, I think people are accepting of this and they don't care. I mean, medians, look at this average sales price, 480,000, almost 481,000, up 6.8%. Like nobody can afford this. I shouldn't say nobody, but
Well,
it's challenging. It's becoming more and
yeah.
more challenging for everybody. It's just, I see the prices, I just cringe. I saw a video recently. A guy in Florida, he bought a condo. I forget what part of Florida. I never even heard of it. Bought it in 2017. He paid $265,000 for it. That 2-bedroom condo now is worth over $700,000
Oh,
in 6 years.
a 2-bedroom condo. Yeah.
Can you imagine in flipping Florida? I like, it's not cheap to even live in Florida anymore, right?
No.
It's all around this whole country. It's just I don't know. I really feel for people. I do. It's getting worse. I feel like.
And you and I both know when mortgage rates do drop, it's not going to become more affordable. It's
No.
going to do the opposite because
Yep.
prices are going to skyrocket as
Exactly.
demand exceeds supply.
Yep.
And so
Exactly. Just it's
so
nuts.
only the government could create a problem like this. Only the government could do it, right? By printing trillions of dollars and creating, the inflation that we're battling with right now.
Yep.
And as you were saying, the Fed is, hell bent on continuing to raise rates
I
until they
know.
get inflation at 2%. And
I know.
so
Yeah. But
they're going to overcorrect for the mistake that they overcorrected for.
exactly.
Okay.
But here's the question that we were just talking about inflation. Speaking of inflation, so we're at 4% now, and you said you're out in the store and you're seeing prices come down a little bit. I mean, when you said that to me, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? I did see some things too, like that I normally get. Okay, so my coffee creamer's come down on price. It just hit me. I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I didn't pay over $5 for it this time. It was on sale for like $3.99. But getting the inflation down to 2%, I don't know if that's going to happen this year. And as I said before, the election's coming up next year, and people are sketchy during an election year. They get nervous.
Yeah, well, consumer confidence is a funny thing, right, Jackie?
Yeah.
So so again, anecdotal evidence, right? I'm out this weekend for dinner with my wife and some friends, and the restaurants are packed.
Mm-hmm.
And the place we ate was not cheap, right? It was a pricey place.
Yep.
So but at the same time, you're looking at Airbnb rentals now are not what they used to be, right? They're people are getting nervous about that. One of my favorite places to go, St. John. Right.
Yep.
I'm starting to see on the websites that I follow last minute deals, cancellations, things like that. The
Yep.
airline tickets. I just saw one today. The airlines have been so bloody expensive for the last year.
Yep.
Now their prices are starting to come down.
Yeah.
So is this a leading indicator saying, that, the real time numbers that they've been saying if are going to come for a couple of months now that we've been waiting for that haven't come yet. Are they finally going to start to come? Are we going to start to see the real time inflation numbers come down?
Right.
Have prices come down? The big thing, that's resilient, that's propping up inflation is housing, right?
Yeah.
Rents. You know,
Yes.
the- you know, the rents, which everybody's telling us across the nation are starting to come down, except here
Hmm.
in the Northeast and Boston, right? So the
True.
New England and the Northeast corridor, our rents are still sticky and holding high, but the rest of the nation rents are coming down.
Yep. Yep. No,
So
they definitely are.
so I think like you were saying, right now we're stuck in this this doldrum, right? There's like we made fun of the weather, with these storms coming through, but the market doesn't have a wind right now. It's kind of just languishing,
Yep.
waiting for something to happen, good or bad. And I think the next numbers are supposed to come out July 13th, right after the 4th of July.
Yes.
So, I think that's going to make or break the summer market, right? Because we didn't have a spring market.
Right.
So I think the summer market, it all hinges on the July 13th numbers. Where does inflation come in?
Exactly.
And
Well,
if inflation comes in lower, I think we will see mortgage rates drop, even if the Fed, jacks up interest rates to try and put the death blow onto inflation. I still think we'll see mortgage rates drop. I don't think we're going to see them drop where Barbara says. I don't think we're going to see fives or fours. But if we could get close to 6.5 or under 6.5, that will bring more buyers into the market.
right. It's just we need the rates to be low enough to bring sellers to the market.
We
That's
need that.
that's
Yeah,
that's the issue. And that's what I keep saying. It's like if we get them back, my hope is we get them back into the fives. I think that would be enough incentive for people to want to sell their homes.
I agree
Because
with you. I don't think we'll see inventory, really pick up significantly until we're into the fives.
yep. Yep.
Somebody will give up a 4 for a 5 or a 3.5 for a 5, but they're not going to give it up for a 6 or a 7.
No. No, I wouldn't.
I
But
love
anyway, we've got a lot of comments on here. Johnny, we got let's see here. Let's go up to the top. Oh, we have John, just disgusting madman has something to say.
Nice
New-
handle. All right.
yeah, I know. New Jersey has the slave prices for everything. Wrong people run the country. Okay, we won't go there. So anyway,
I agree with wrong people run the country, but yeah.
I know. Oh, Tracy was on here a little before. Here we go. Tracy Godfrey had said zero spring market in Essex County. Bizarre. Yep. Tracy and I have been talking about that a lot, how crazy it's been. But she also went on to say she just got John, you see the one, but she sold the house. Just sold the house. Just sold the house in Glen Ridge. Listing $799. Got it for $830. Shocking. That's actually not bad.
That's
30,000
great.
over asking. That's really good. That's a bargain.
Yeah, good for you, Tracy. That's awesome.
I know for Glen Ridge. I mean,
Yeah.
Glen Ridge, they go for like 100,000 over. What else we got here? So we have Jay. Hold on. I'm going to show Jay's comment here. Hi, Jay. How are you? Do you think new housing starts will pick up this year? How is your sentiment? Yeah, so the new starts are definitely picking up. The builders confidence is back and they're this is in other parts of the country.
Right.
Here in Jersey, there's like nothing to be had as far as land is concerned. So I don't think we're going to see much of that here. But if you're looking to move somewhere else, another state, where they're going to have new construction, you have a good shot now. So that's good. But is it going to meet that demand? What did you say it was? 4 million homes in 2007 that we
4
had?
million in 2007. Yep.
Yeah. So are we ever going to get back to that? I don't know.
No, no.
Yeah,
And
no.
that's okay. We don't want to get back to that. Believe me, I was there. We don't want to get back to that.
No,
Right.
but maybe halfway to that. Like maybe
Yeah,
let's get 2 million homes out there, like
2 million homes is a balonced market.
yes.
Right? 2
Yeah.
million homes is a balanced market. So,
Yeah.
going back to the housing starts, right? May saw, a surprise with 1.6 million, new housing starts.
Yeah.
Like you said, not in New Jersey, but in the
Yeah.
rest of the country. So that's good news, right? Builder confidence is good news.
Yes. That is
Now,
good news.
you
Yep.
know, in the rest of the country, buyers now have a choice between existing single family homes and new construction.
Mhm.
In our market in New Jersey, you don't have that choice. There is only existing single family homes.
I know.
Right?
Yep.
Maybe a little bit in the adult communities down by me. They're building some of these adult communities, PUDs down by me,
Yeah.
but not to the point where it's really going to make a difference because the buyer who's really challenged right now is the first time home buyer, right? The baby boomers selling their house in Glen Ridge and moving down to Ocean County, they're flush with equity and cash. They don't, mortgages don't matter to them.
Yep. Yeah.
They're buying that adult community home cash. But
Yep.
that first time home buyer is, I'm looking at 7% mortgage rates, maybe a little less of, with an FHA, but I have to compete against everybody else in this market, and I'm going to have to pay another $50,000 over list price
Mhm.
minimum to try and get the house.
I know. I know, it's crazy. So my buyer I'm working with right now, we put an offer a few weeks ago. It was bidding war, and then we lost it. And then PS, they called me back last week. The agent called me back. She said that buyer that they went with, um, they ended up not buying. So my guy ended up getting it. And you know what? He only went like 5,000 over asking. And they took
Mhm.
it because we were next in line. They didn't want to bother putting it back on the market to try it again because it had already been a week. That house is in attorney review, and you know what that happens there when that goes back on the market. People are like,
What
"What's
happened?
wrong? What's wrong with it?"
What's wrong with the house? Not
So
what.
we lucked out. Knock wood, we got it. We're going to be hopefully out of attorney review tomorrow. But I'm like 5,000 over asking. Like, oh my god, like that's a
Good for
like,
you.
I'm very excited about that. I was like, holy cow. Like, but um, yeah, but what happened was, so if this is something interesting. I don't know if you've experienced this before, but I've had this happen to me when I've had listings. So the reason why we ended up getting they came to us, the first buyer, they went in so aggressive with their offer, like totally overshot because they wanted like a placeholder because
Right.
it ended up being that their daughter was the decision maker for to buy the house. The daughter was on vacation, so this couple went out and they saw like, oh, you know what? Let's just get it. They put the overshot the offer. They ended up accepting it, only to find out when the daughter finally came to see the house, she didn't like it.
Yeah.
So they wasted a week of their time being an attorney review to just find out. It's like, no, yeah, no, I didn't like the house anyway. So I mean, that stuff is still going on. I had that happen to me last year where somebody totally went aggressive on a 2-bedroom condo I had listed. I'm like, really? That seems really high. And they were going in cash and whatever, only to find out they were putting offers on other places. And the one that they really wanted,
Right.
they got accepted, and then they bailed on us. So
We
that's still happening too,
Yeah.
that
We
people
saw
are
more of that in the beginning of the year than we do now.
yeah,
But one of the things, like you were saying, when a deal does fall through, right? In the past couple of years, the unicorn years, as they call them,
yeah,
it was snatched back. I mean, it was just, you threw it back in and the frenzy was still there.
yeah,
Now, when a house comes back on the market or a listing comes back on the market, it has a stigma to it.
it does.
You know?
Absolutely.
So,
Yep,
so if you do, and you made a great point. So if you're a buyer, always remain as a backup.
yep, yep,
Because you can get a good deal.
yep.
You're not going to be that frenzy isn't going to be there when it comes back on the market. It's gone. That
Exactly.
house now has a stigma. Yeah,
Yep, and that's what I always tell my clients because 'cause they're just like, "Oh, it's gonna go over ask." I'm like, "Throw it in there anyway because you never know." And just like this is the perfect example of my client right now. I mean, paid 5 grand over asking, like,
yeah, good point.
that's a win. That is
Yeah,
a big win. So, what else do we got? We got some comments here. Bob Curran, welcome back, Bob. Good to have you here. Inventory very low, causing problems. Yes. Bob, did your daughter, I think you said your daughter was buying a house or whatever happened with that, or she didn't get an offer accepted? Remind me of that. I want to know, I want to get an update. Wow, Tracy, you like left and you came back. Thanks for coming back. Um, 90, hi, how are you? I'm glad you're here. It's true, and sadly, politicians tend to push important but controversial issues off until after election day. Uh-huh. Oh, I could go on for days. And Jim, I know you can too.
Yeah.
We're not going to go there though. Let me see, 90 again. My partner and I would like to be homeowners, but between the high interest rate, low inventory, and overinflated prices, it's a dream for now. Would love to go to PA. I know. I know. It's really sad. But look, like Jim and I were just saying, don't be afraid to throw your hat in the ring. If you
Yeah.
can do it, throw your hat in the ring because you never know, because it can come back to you. I just want to come back to this comment here. Chelsea fanatic. Hello, Chelsea. Is Ridgewood still the hottest town in Bergen County? Is the Pope Catholic? Yes. That's all. That's how I'm going to say that. Ridgewood is still hot. Crazy. Can't touch it. So that's like Ridgewood to us, it's like Montclair to where Tracy is in Essex County. Montclair is just another one. Glen Ridge, they're crazy. Like you can't touch it. Oh, look who's here, my friend. Hello, Smallhorn. Thanks for being here. My good friend Christina. Christina, when are you coming back on? I got to get you back on. Oh, you're so funny. So anyway, oh wait, here's another one here from 90. Do you think BlackRock and other investors will begin selling the homes that they have in their coffers? No, I don't think so. Christina does a lot. She talks a lot about this, about these investors buying up all these homes. I don't think they will. I think they're going to hang on to those for life because we think that Christina says this, and I'm in agreement with her. She thinks that the whole plan is that they want us to own nothing. They just want us to be renters, especially the millennial or poor millennials, and even now Gen Z. They want them to rent. They're trying to sell this idea like, oh, you have the freedom, you're not tied down, you're not committed to a mortgage, and and we have to worry about selling a house. You can just rent and be free to go, bounce around. So I don't know, Jim, what do you think about that?
I think, well, I've heard this whole conspiracy theory, and I think it's part true. I think BlackRock, yeah, they're investing to capitalize on the rental market.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we were just talking about Airbnb, and all these, first time investors that took the cheap money and bought Airbnbs.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're struggling to fill those, right? And those carrying costs are going to catch up to them.
Yep.
And they're smart people, right? They took advantage of cheap money.
Yes.
So they're going to say, okay, this is a bigger pain in the ass than the YouTube videos we watched telling us this was a great idea, right? I got to constantly compete with other Airbnbs, adjust our prices, last minute decisions, last minute cancellations. It's just not worth it. And there's a shortage of inventory out there. We can get rid of this and maybe even make a couple of bucks.
Yep.
Let's unload this while we can before it gets worse.
Yep.
So I think as we continue to trudge along here, with the beginning signs of actual price declines coming up, the Hamptons, right? The latest news I've heard, the big, Hampton rentals are down, percentage wise.
Rentals are down everywhere. Like are you talking about regular rentals or summer rentals?
Summer rentals in the
Yeah.
Hamptons.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're down everywhere. The Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
I'm still getting emails from real estate companies in Cape May. We vacation in Cape May every year. We already we reserved our home like back in January, but I'm still getting price reductions. Cape May, that never happens. Like if you don't book your house by the end of the year, like December, January, you're never going to get a house. I cannot believe the amount of inventory that's still available down there. And I'm also hearing, I have a friend that has a rental in LBI. The LB prices in LBI are coming down. Now we own a rental in Delaware, in Bethany Beach. I think we have like 5 weeks rented for the summer so far. I could not believe it. And I don't have it listed on Airbnb. The management company I'm using, you either book directly through them or VRBO, which I'm not crazy about, but the fees are less daunting than Airbnb's, because Airbnb's fees is what was driving people away. And
Right.
that's the problem. I mean, you can spend, I'm not kidding you, Jim, with Airbnb, with the all the service fees and the cleaning fees, you could spend another $500 to $800 on top of the rental,
Yeah.
the rental amount. So I think that's why Airbnb is failing as well, because of those high fees. People are just like, I'm just going to stay in a hotel. If I'm going to spend that kind of money, why bother paying to Airbnb?
So
So
that's what we're seeing. We're seeing these leading indicators, right? You and I. It's more anecdotal right now. It's
yeah,
more experiential. Going to the supermarket, airline tickets.
yeah,
The we're seeing it. The leading indicators, but the government is looking at the lagging indicators. So
right.
we have this tug of war going on between where we're headed and where we've been. You know,
Yep,
so I think as this continues to shake out and as the lagging indicators catch up to the leading indicators, which could be the end of summer, beginning like we were talking
yeah.
Q3 and Q4, we could actually see a warmer fall winter market than we did, a spring summer market. We can see
I
more
hope.
activity in the second half of the year than the first half of the year. The the challenge is how do we grunt out and grind out the next 2 months, right?
I know.
July and August, the dog days of summer. They're going to be dog days.
They are.
They're going to be dog days.
Yeah, they became dog days on Memorial Day.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, debt ceiling. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. All right, 90 has another comment here. What do we got? I think you're right. I'm pushing myself to finish my nursing degree, so we have the means to live wherever we want. Good for you. My son's girlfriend's going to become a nurse too. I give you guys a lot of credit. That's a challenging career, but God bless you for doing that. Christina, thank you, Christina. Airbnbs doesn't have many affordable type homes that would help you with the supply issue. That's a good point too. Yeah. So I guess it depends. I don't know. Maybe it depends on the area, because I mean, my house, our condo in down in Bethany wasn't. I mean, it wasn't astronomical, but anyway, I don't know. But it's going to be curious. I'm going to be curious to see how this all plays out with these Airbnbs, because it's what I'm seeing in the rental market. The summer rentals is just I that it's unheard of. We have another friend, just to add to that, who has a property in Delaware, not far from where we are. The last few years, been renting it out like no problem, like all 10 weeks booked, made a ton of money. He's got 1 week booked this summer. I'm like, oh my God. And he's using the same property manager I'm using. It's not like it's all on Airbnb. So it's crazy what's happened. And I think it's also that people are traveling, it not only is the economy, but I think people now are traveling, like you said, the airlines, airfares are cheaper. So people would rather get on a plane and go away somewhere than go to the beach. That's, I don't know.
Or they're going to their day trip into the beach, here at the Jersey Shore, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're just bouncing up, especially because the weather's been so crappy so far. It was like,
I know.
we'll play it by ear. We'll see what the day is. Maybe we'll drive
I
down.
know. I need to get down to the beach, darn
Yeah.
it. I gotta get down there. All right, so we have Phantom Games. Hey, what's up? You haven't been here in a while. How are you? Is there an actual housing shortage? Investors have swooped up so many homes, tightening the supply for actual families. Maybe too little people own too many homes. Yeah, I mean, there is like yeah, a lot of investors bought. Yeah, and we're talking about the big corporate investors. They scapped up a lot of homes. They did. Um,
So
freaking
yes, there is still a shortage. We were talking about that, right? 4
yes.
million homes in
Yeah,
2008, 1 million homes today, or just over a million homes today. And builders just started. Their starts mean starts. That means the permits were approved. It doesn't mean the house is built, right?
true.
It means we're breaking ground. We have the permits in place. We have the plans. Now, we have an 8-9 month build out ahead of them. And I think the estimates I see is we're still like 4.3 million units short of the demand the incoming buying generation, the millennial and Gen Z, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
they're that the millennials are just as big, if not bigger, than the baby boomer generation.
I think they're
Right,
bigger. They're
right?
bigger th they're bigger than the baby boomer generation.
So think about that demand for the next 10, 15 years.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
how can you build fast enough to satisfy that demand? And that's if every millennial were to move to the Southwest.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well,
Um,
there's definitely a shortage of housing. It's
yeah.
undeniable. And
The
between the investors buying it up and it not being built fast enough, and the population entering their prime home buying years.
Yes. I know. It's a mess. It's just a hot mess.
Yeah,
Because then they're also the millennials. I did a video about this too. The millennials are competing against the baby boomers because they're all reaching the retirement age. Like you said before, they have all this cash now from all this equity from their home, and they can walk in with cash to buy the house. And the poor first time buyer millennial, they're stuck on the sidelines. They're
yeah,
not able to buy it. So you got that going on too.
yeah.
It's yeah, I don't know. Let's see. We have another question from Chelsea here. What are your thoughts on Fairlawn? Fairlawn, great town. I always tell people check out niche.com. You want to get like all the data, like the school statistics, crime data, all that stuff. Niche.com is the best resource. But I have personally sold homes in Fairlawn. Great town. The schools are excellent. And what's great about it is the location in Bergen County. It's very centrally located. So your commute to the city is not that bad. And then you're surrounded by Paramus and like all the good shopping, all the malls, yeah, all the malls, right, Christina? With my little accent. Where do you think everybody went? Where do you think everyone went? Europe? I think so. A lot of people are going to Europe. So don't laugh. My husband and I are talking about taking a trip, and I actually got quoted with airfare to go to the Canary Islands. $4,500 for 7 nights for my husband and I with
Nice.
airfare.
Right.
So I mean, would
Yeah.
you spend that on a house down the Jersey Shore? No.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
So
Think
the
about
Canary Islands, the Jersey Shore. Okay.
it. Seriously, seriously. All right, Bob Curran. Not enough new homes being built in New Jersey after 2008. Builders got hurt, so builders not building. Yes, but that's just builders not building. That went on for a long time around the whole country. I mean, they all ran away. A lot of them lost their shirts, so they got out of it. But the problem with New Jersey, there's just not enough land. We're over. It's just we're
There's
at
not
maximum
enough land to
capacity.
build on, and if we go back to the beginning of this whole problem, right? The pandemic, right? Just over 3 years ago. Wow, it's been three
No,
years.
can you believe that?
3 years ago, right? Builders weren't thinking, all right, the Fed is just going to drop rates to zero and create this incredible unicorn market of home buyers.
Yep.
So when you and I and builders and everybody in the real estate business, looked at the activity and said, "Holy crap, these people are putting masks and gloves on and going out, in the death zone here, right? Taking, their lives in their hands to find a house because mortgage rates are the cheapest they've ever been."
Mm-hmm.
Builders are like, "Okay, now I can't get supplies and I can't get labor. I can't get
Mm-hmm.
supplies and I can't get labor." So
Right.
here's the greatest opportunity in the world for me as a home builder, and I can't get what I need, which is supplies and labor.
Yeah, I
So now
know.
that they could get supplies and labor, they're going to be playing catch up for at least 3 years.
Or more.
Yeah,
I
at
think it's gonna
least
take
3 years.
longer, at least 3 years, but I think it's gonna take longer than that.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for you, Jim. You said there's still building some adult communities down in Toms River and
Well,
like,
down in Southern Ocean County. Yep.
Southern Ocean County, okay. Are those builders offering any incentives to people, like, rate buy downs or, credit towards closing costs, anything like that?
The big thing right now is they're buying down the rate. You use their in-house lender,
Yeah,
like DH Horton or DR Horton rather. You know,
okay.
DR Horton, is a big one where, if you use their in-house lender, they'll buy down your rate into the right now, probably into the high fives, almost a full point, so,
Wow.
so, but that's about the only incentive they're offering, and they're offering that on the houses that they built on spec that deals fell through on.
Yep.
So it's not on, they're not offering that on the build outs or premium lots. That's on, ready to go homes.
Right. Yeah, so that's like the best time you can, like, if you're gonna get a new construction, like that's when you need to go in for the kill. You wait for the ones that
Yeah.
are
Because you
that
could
the
get a
deal
good
fell
rate and
through.
maybe even negotiate something off the price because they got to get those things off the sheets.
Well, that happened to us when we bought our rental property in Delaware in Millsboro. We bought a brand new townhouse to rent out. It fell through. They hadn't started building it yet, but it was under contract, and then the person backed out. Then we like get in there,
It's in
and
there.
they gave us incentives towards I forget how much it was. We got like credit towards our closing. I want to say like 15,000 towards closing or something like that, which we were like, oh, okay, we'll take it,
Yeah.
But that's, if somebody's looking at new construction, that's what I tell people. I try to say in my videos too. If you're looking elsewhere in the country, don't look at the new construction, because these incentives right now, it's awesome. Take advantage of that, because you're not going to get that obviously when you're buying a resale. What do we have here? Oh, Bob says here, Toll Brothers offering 5 to 6% on new $700,000 homes in Howell. Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, see? All right, that's cool. Yeah, so new construction right now they're gonna see, this is the way to go, but only if they're building in a town near you. We don't,
Yeah.
we
If they're
don't
if,
have it here.
if they're building and what's left, and what's
Well,
left, and what's the timeline on it?
so there's so here, somebody had asked me this the other day. I mean, look, what about all that farmland we have down in South Jersey? I mean, people would never give that up, right? To sell that to builders.
Well, never say never. But
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about way down south. You're talking about Vineland. You're talking
Yeah.
about the old Campbell Soup Company land, right?
Hmm.
So that's beyond my area of expertise. But I think because of the agricultural tax savings on that, as well as the government, um, what's the word I'm looking for? The supplemental, government assistance on those things. You
Yep.
know, I think it's more profitable for them to hold on to the land and get the tax benefits and the supplemental income from the government. Again, it's beyond my area of expertise, but
Yeah. Right.
you know,
Okay. Yep. Well, I don't know. I always wondered about that, like if that would ever be a potential. They could build more on the old farmland. But like a couple weeks ago, I had a realtor on from Boise, Idaho, and she said that's what's being built on all out by her. And she said they have like, they're now selling T-shirts to say, this used to be a farm, or there's like signs out there, this used to be a farm. Because builders are just taking them over
yeah,
and
yeah,
building on them.
never say never. Who knows?
I
Global
know.
warming continues. We may be underwater here, and that might be prime real estate. Right?
It's true. You never know. You never know.
Mhm.
All right, Jay has a question. How is Jersey's zoning laws? Can you convert some commercial real estate into residential? That's an excellent question. I would say depending on the county and town you live in, what those zoning laws are. I mean, what do you say, Jim?
I think it depends on definitely on the county and town. But it's a great point that Jay brings up, because the commercial market and the residential market are two completely different markets, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the commercial market's in desperate straits right now.
Right.
Not just post COVID because of occupancy rates and rents that aren't being paid anymore, but the mortgages held on these commercial properties are not 30-year fixed rate mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
Commercial mortgages are shorter with balloon payments, and when these balloon payments come due in the next 2 years, that's going to be a huge problem. you
Yeah.
know so these towns and municipalities that have these commercial vacancies, they should start looking at rezoning these into townhomes, condominiums, something residential. That's a great point.
It is a great point. I think it's a great idea. I think we need to put that in Governor Murphy's suggestion box. Tell him this is what we need to do. Get the
Maybe he's already figured it out, and that's how he's going to get all those property rebates back to the senior citizens to keep
There
them
you
from moving
go.
to Florida, right? Reduce
There,
the property
there
tax.
you go.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah,
we
in case
figured it out.
yes, look at that, Jim. In case if anybody's aware of this, Governor Murphy is proposing to cut the senior citizens' property taxes here in New Jersey. That's
Yeah,
hasn't happened yet, but that's what he's proposing to do
to
to keep
keep
the
them from
seniors
going to Florida, keep them from leaving the state. Yeah.
right, exactly, exactly. But yeah, like I said, who's paying for that? I don't know. But unique is condos is still good rental investment if I pay cash. I think so. I definitely think so. But do your research on what your what the rents are going for and what area you're looking to buy. But yeah, if you're paying cash, I think so. Especially if you're in Jersey, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
The rents are still, they're still up there.
if you're paying cash, that's most
Yeah,
of your overhead or your expenses are going to be your carrying costs.
exactly.
If you're paying cash, and then you're really just worried about your property taxes, homeowners associations, or monthly fees,
Right.
and repairs and maintenance.
Yep.
So I don't like you. I don't see the rental market in New Jersey crashing anytime soon. It's
Nope.
just
Nope.
just too much. There's just too much demand for it. Yeah.
I know. Well, if the people from the city are still coming over here too, are you still seeing people down in Ocean County coming from Manhattan, or is it mostly people downsizing?
It, it's mostly people downsizing or people coming down because of affordability, driven down here. You
Gotcha.
know, as a matter
Yep.
of fact, I actually got a YouTube lead the beginning of the month, June 6th. It was a Tuesday afternoon.
Cool.
A flight attendant, who flies out of Newark, LaGuardia, and JFK,
Yep.
who was pre-approved, young, she was pre-approved for 330 or 350,000, right?
Okay.
And she's like, so I'm looking based on that, down in your area, as long as I'm within a 3-hour commute of these airports. I'm like,
Right.
well, JFK could be a push depending on traffic at 3 hours, but but
Yep.
Monmouth and Ocean, that could be an option for you.
Yep.
Well, when I looked in Monmouth County for a 3-bedroom, 1 bath under 330,000 or 350,000, there were 7 in the whole county.
Uh,
7, right? And I think 5 out of the 7 were 2 bedrooms, and the 2 that were 3 bedrooms you wouldn't live in, right? It was just they were tear downs.
oh God.
So, so then, she came down to take a look in Ocean County at a house and figured out that even though she said 3 hours, it was too much with the tolls. Too much tolls, too much.
Yep. Yep.
So, so in less than 2 weeks, she figured out I'm gonna sign a lease for another year and wait it out. You know,
Yep.
it's just, it just is what it is.
It is what it is. I know. But look, I mean, you can. I guess it depends on where in the city. Like in that situation, going out to JFK from Monmouth County, Ocean County, that's a nightmare. But with somebody who's going into Manhattan, it's kind of doable from Monmouth County
Yeah.
and Ocean. You can do it.
You,
It's a little bit of a hike, but yeah. So all right, Christina, affordability is the biggest issue in real estate right now. Amen, sister. It is. It is. And it scares the heck out of me because it's like when something's got to give with this. It's seeing how much these prices. I mean, looking at what's going on in Jersey, what was it, $450 something thousand dollars? I mean, really? Like I said, the first time buyers, where are they going? Where are they going? They can't afford this. So
well, some can, surprisingly. I think that's the big shock, is how are they affording this? How are the first time home buyers still in bidding wars competing for these properties at these rates?
Yeah, over the past couple of years, my first time buyers, I've had millennials who've been working for a while. They're spending, over $800,000. They were able to swing it, But then there are those who, like you're saying, this flight attendant, she can only afford $330,000, but she has to,
But she had to, yeah, she had to sign a lease. She can't compete in that.
right. She can't compete in that.
Mm.
So, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. 90 has another question. What is your opinion of Wilmington, Delaware area for single family homes? I heard there's no state income tax. No, there's no state sales tax in Delaware. So there's no sales tax. And I don't know what the income tax rate is, but they have one of the lowest property tax rates in the country. So that's why Delaware is becoming very attractive to people, because your property taxes are like next to nothing. It's really cheap. Wilmington, I'm not that familiar with. I'm more familiar with the southern part of Delaware, but I mean, their homes are selling in Delaware like crazy. I have my very good friend's a real estate agent there, and she tells me what's going on. It's insane. It's really insane. But Delaware is a great state, though, believe it or not. I enjoy going down there. So what else do we got? Jay says parents need to help their kids afford their first homes. Jay, that's funny. I was just going to say that too. I also had some young buyers, first time buyers over the past couple of years who the parents lent them money for their down payment.
Mhm.
I mean, Jim, I'm sure you've
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah, I mean, I think parents, grandparents, they're all helping out as much as they can, because they're homeowners themselves.
Yep.
So they see the value. They've been through these ups and downs, and as long as you hold on to real estate, it will appreciate.
Absolutely.
It only depreciates when you sell it at the wrong time.
Exactly.
So I think their parents and their grandparents see the value of real estate, as the safest long-term investment that you can make. And they
Yeah.
want their children and their grandchildren to benefit from it, because let's face it, who the heck knows what's going to happen, with the economy and everything else that's going on in the world. It's the craziest thing we've ever seen. I
I
mean,
know. I know.
Putin, Putin just had a mutiny on his hands this weekend.
I know. Like,
Putin.
I said, my husband and I were going out, and I'm like, I go, did I just read this right? I just saw this online. He goes, yeah. I'm like, what the heck? What is going on? It's just
We have
times.
we have the front runner for the Republican Party under indictment. We have the current president of the United States' son is being convicted for tax evasion, and we have Putin with a mutiny on his hands. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
No, and like
Truth is stranger than fiction. We are living in a mad, mad, mad world, Jackie.
yes, we are, Jim. Yes, we are. It's like I wake up every day, like, what's going to happen now?
Yeah.
I mean, last week we were all following this whole submarine story. I mean, that was horrible the way that ended, but it's like, oh my God. And then like a few weeks ago, the fires from Canada, we got like bombarded with all the smoke from
And
Canada.
They're still burning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can anything else go on? I'm not going to say that. I don't want to
Don't say that. Yeah.
Oh my God. 90 says that's a great idea. If younger homeowners don't have to foot the bill, I see a lot of posts from older people on real estate blogger sites that say they're leaving Jersey because of the high taxes. Yep.
Yeah.
Jersey is the state with the highest property taxes in the entire country. We are number one. Thank you very much.
Yeah. We beat California and Connecticut.
We do, and New York. We beat New York too. Who knew? Yeah, we are number one, Jim. Something to be very proud of. We're top.
But that's okay. Murphy's going to fix that too.
He's totally going to fix that. Absolutely. Yeah, he's got that.
He's got a plan. He's going to take it from all the schools again, right?
Oh my God. I can't. But honestly though, like I'm glad that as much as the taxes are high, but honestly, my kids have gotten such a great education. And I will say this about Jersey, they do put it into the schools, and I'm I don't want to speak on behalf of you, but I mean that, like, do you feel that way? Because I felt like my daughter's going to be a senior. My two older boys went through this public school system here in Jersey, and it was phenomenal. And
It
that's what
was
you hear.
phenomenal, and good for you being where you are because you still have the money going into your schools. Murphy took it from ours. It was a little it was a little revenge because Monmouth and Ocean County actually voted for Ciccarelli and not for Murphy in the last election.
Really? I didn't
From
know
this
that.
from this latest funding cycle, Murphy said, "Hey, I'm going to pull $12 million out of your budget, Toms River Regional Schools, and I'm going to give it to the schools up here that voted, blue instead of red."
Stop. I
Oh, he
didn't know
did.
that.
Oh, yeah, he reappropriated all of our funds. Yep. I mean, huge. Like they were expecting a $3 million cut, and we got a $12 million cut.
Holy crap. I had no idea. Okay, see, now I feel bad.
Now,
We took
fortunately, our local mayor, went and petitioned to the state and got some of that money back.
thank
But
God.
he really literally had to go hat in hand and say, listen, that your whole formula for reappropriating all these school funds is flawed. But
Oh my
make
God.
no bones about it, there was retribution there for voting red. Yep.
Unbelievable. Now, because Tom's River, that's your district's huge. Don't you have
Huge.
you have four high schools, right?
We have 4 high schools. Yep. Yeah, we have,
God.
I mean, it's huge.
And they took
Well,
12 million. Oh
yeah,
God.
yeah.
That is just dumb. When is his term up?
Mhm. I,
I can't.
I think he's got another 2 years left. Yep.
Oh, please. It can't end soon enough. Phantom Games, there's a lot of great programs in New Jersey for schooling. There are, and like we get a bad rap, New Jersey, like, oh, Jersey, swampland, and, whatever. People say negative crap about Jersey, but I will say our schooling is good. The education has been good. So 90 has here. Oh, she's replying to Phantom Games. If I could, Rutgers would be my first choice to finish my degree. I almost moved across the river from Philly, so Jersey, COVID killed it for me. I'm sorry, 90. But anywho, so we are at an hour, my friend Jim.
Wow.
So
That
what?
flies by.
Yeah, God, this went by fast. All right, so predictions. All right, so what do you say? You think that the second half of the year is definitely going to turn, well, not definitely. You think it's going to turn around?
I think, like I said, I think we're going to see a warmer fall and winter as far as activity in the housing market goes in New Jersey than
Yep.
we did in spring and summer. My prediction is July and August are going to be the doldrums. It's going to be a grunt time, right? Because
Yep.
we have to shake out where this stalemate that we're at with the economy between inflation and recession.
Yep.
So I think as the numbers come in, because the government only looks at lagging numbers, I think we're going to see the numbers come in more and more in favor of showing that inflation is on its way down,
Yep.
but it's going to take a while for those numbers to correlate to lower mortgage rates. So I think September, October, we'll start to see rates under 6.5%, maybe 6.5, bouncing around there, lower sixes. I don't think we're going to see fives in 2023. I think we're going to see low sixes by the end of the year. But that's good news, right?
It is good news. I
We're
want to
heading
see
in
it in
the
the
right
fives.
direction. But like you said, unfortunately, that'll bring more buyers into the market, but not enough sellers.
I want it to go into the fives so we could have more sellers. That's my
So
hope.
I think 2024 we'll see more sellers come into the market as rate. I think in 2024 it's an election year,
I
and
know.
no incumbent president likes the economy to be the reason he didn't get reelected.
That's
So
true.
so I think
That's true.
you will see it. We will see rates in the fives sometime in 2024.
All right, I'm gonna hold you to that.
That's
Um,
my prediction.
I'm praying it happens the end of this year, but I don't know. I trust you, Jim. I think
But
you're
the
gonna be
most
right.
important thing, Jackie, Polar Seltzer is affordable once again. Okay.
Yes.
I don't have to
Yes.
drink I don't have to drink supermarket brand seltzer anymore.
Yes. The world is right again. Everything in the world is right again because Polar is on sale at ShopRite, and I'm going out to buy my cases tomorrow. Thanks,
There we
thanks for
go.
that tip.
So have
Anyway,
faith. Have faith. It starts with seltzer, and it will eventually lead to more inventory.
absolutely. I love that. That's great. Jim, you're the best. Thank you so much. I love having you on. So we'll have you back again, and we'll see where this all leads us the rest of this year.
Yeah,
And
let's get
yeah.
together in Q3 or Q4 and see if our predictions, if my predictions are coming true, or if I completely missed the mark.
All right, you're on. You are on.
Yeah.
So, all right,
Well,
everybody have a great week. Thank you for being here. I will not be here next week for July 4th. So everybody have a wonderful, safe, happy 4th of July, and I will see you all the following week. All right, everyone have a great night. Thanks again, Jim.
happy 4th, Jackie.
Take care.